Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. How are y'all doing today? Here we are, right? I don't even know where to begin in this video. The state of our country, the world, is so bad. It's so bad. Rights have been stripped away. Rights are continuing to be stripped away, depending on who you are. And I just can't help but think, you know, if this had happened even just like a few months ago, the tragedy that my husband and I had gone through could have gone way differently and unimaginably more traumatic. Like, I can't even fathom that. But it could have been worse. It could have actually been worse. The gun violence in this country, it's gotten to the point where I don't even feel safe leaving my home. I am scared when my husband leaves our home. I'm scared for my life, and that's coming from a white woman. I'm not going to say anything more about that because I'm, at this point in my life, fucking paranoid as shit and terrified to accidentally manifest anything, if I'm being honest. Probably because I'm fucking traumatized by recent events, both in the world, what everyone's experiencing, and my own personal events as well. So yeah, I think we're all smart enough to figure out what I'm saying here. You know, I'm just, it's not safe. The world is not safe. I feel like all I've been doing, especially for the past 3 months, the world was hard before that, of course, pandemic, everything else going on. But especially for me, for the past few months, I've been doing like nothing but crying. So I figured that today I would just do a nice VR to my good friend Cortney. Love you. I just didn't feel right. This is me personally. I'm not judging anyone who does it otherwise. Everyone is grieving, is handling their fear, is handling all of this their own way. But I personally felt weird coming onto camera and not saying anything about what's going on in our country and in my life. Both. It's like, I can't not say anything. I'm just one of those people. I have to fucking say something. Like, if you've been subscribed for a while, you know that. Like, I just don't want to cry on camera. I don't want to cry on camera. But with all that being said, I really wanted a chance to just not cry. I wanted an opportunity to focus on something different today and just do this VR and show you guys this new tarot deck that I got. I'm really excited about it, and also make it into a VR that Cortney started. So I will link her channel below if you want to go check her video out and her channel out. Okay, so let's go ahead and just dive into this. Let's just go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so this is a new deck I got, and look who it's by. I know. I couldn't believe it either. She has her own channel on here, and I follow her on Instagram and everything. It's so funny because, like, I knew she had made her own decks and everything. Like, I knew that. I knew she was into, like, Egyptian mythology and history, and she was really into ancestral work. But I didn't know exactly what deck she had made, and I was shopping the other day at a crystal shop, you know, just like a metaphysical shop. And I was like, oh, this deck looks really cool. I was just like so drawn to it. And then I looked at the creator's name and it was her. I just like couldn't believe it. But anyway, shout out to you, Julie. Hope you're watching this. So yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right in. And I will be answering. So this VR is like answering a series of questions, right? Courtney made these questions about shadow work to kind of get you thinking a little bit more about how you can be using tarot for your shadow work, which I love. And I personally love shadow work. It's really, really hard, but it's super rewarding. So yeah, I was really interested in doing this tag. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'll just flip through the cards so that you guys can look at them as I'm talking, okay? First question. Which tarot archetype reminds you of your shadow or helps you to identify it while working with tarot for shadow work? Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. Which tarot archetype reminds you of your shadow or helps you identify it while working with tarot for shadow work? Okay. So I would say archetype, I would say I'm definitely more into like the minor arcana. I would say that cups is probably my archetype for, especially for shadow work. I'm just such a deeply, deeply emotional person, extremely emotional person. Anger can be one of those emotions, usually, lots of times. So fire can be definitely one of my archetypes as well, but fire really, you know, fire doesn't just mean anger. It can mean transformation and passion and all that too. I do a lot of transformation, so fire could be part of that. I would definitely say that water is more my archetype though, for sure. I would definitely say that, just because I am such an emotional person, specifically the King of Cups. But again, it's just, the question is just archetype, not which card. But, you know, the Tower is pretty powerful. I feel like the Tower is powerful for anyone, though. If you want to go into major arcana, that archetype is pretty powerful. But yeah, definitely Cups. That's my archetype, especially for shadow work. Just trying to figure out some deep emotions, thinking about why I have these emotions and things like that. The water archetype definitely helps me with that kind of shadow work. So anyway, moving on to the next question. How do you use tarot for shadow work? Well, I mean, sometimes I don't even realize I'm using it for shadow work. I mean, I could just have like some thoughts or some feelings that I'm having and I don't understand why, and I might just pull a tarot card to help me like answer these questions I have about emotions I'm having, or you know, thought behavioral patterns that I'm having, some anxiety that I'm having. I might pull a tarot card or do like just like a simple 3-card spread. I guess you could call that shadow work. I have definitely used for like deep, like actual, like legit shadow work, I've used specific tarot spreads. There are specific tarot spreads out there for shadow work. Not that the more cards, the better. I'm not saying that. I just, for me, usually the more cards I use, the more in depth of a reading I can get. So I would definitely say that I use specific in-depth spreads for my shadow work when using tarot for my shadow work, for sure. There's also a really good go-to, just like simple, I forgot about this this really simple 3-card spread that I use for, again, I don't really know if this would be considered shadow work, but it's the 3 cards represents the current situation you're in, problems that you're having in that current situation, and then the last card is advice from spirit. So I use that a lot to get me out of situations or reflect on things. But that's just for like everyday shadow work. I guess you could call it that. Now for like trauma shadow work, like deep-seated childhood trauma, that's a little bit more in depth. I use like bigger spreads for that. And sometimes after doing shadow work too, when I'm using a spread, I might pull like an oracle card and I might keep that oracle card out, right? So I might do a large spread to do some shadow work to kind of like figure out some trauma that I have, or maybe to try to figure out some trauma that I have, and then I might pull an oracle to kind of give me like an overall theme or message of how to kind of further work through this trauma. And I will keep that oracle card out for a while. In fact, I have one out right now, actually. I will keep that oracle card out for a while, just as a reminder. And when I'm in my witchy room doing my altar work, or doing meditation or whatever, I can see it and be reminded and know what I still need to be working on. So I love doing that, keeping the oracle card out. And then, it's not like I have like a deadline of how long I keep it out or anything like that. I just put it back whenever I feel I'm ready to, Okay, number 3. Ooh, look, King of Cups. Isn't that cool? Oh, he's neat. I love him. King of Cups is my favorite. All right, number 3. How do you personally identify when you need shadow work? I think what she means is like, how do you know when you personally need shadow work? Like everyone's different. I feel like when I need to do some shadow work is when I'm having, if I'm having like repetitive nightmares or dreams. I might look into it then, because if it's like trauma that's affecting me even in my sleep, that's when I usually do some shadow work, and I'll let go, and then I'll eventually do something. Like, it might be a person I'm dreaming about that I really need to let go. So I'll do like a cord cutting after my shadow work or something like that. But repetitive dreams is when I know I usually need to do some shadow work. Let's see, just if someone or something from my past is really affecting my present, okay? Whether it be through repetitive dreams, whether it be through repetitive thoughts, intrusive thoughts throughout my day, where like I'm thinking about something over and over again and how it's affected my life or whatever, just anything that's affecting my life from my past is when I know I really need to do some shadow work. When I see myself also lashing out, or when I see myself kind of scapegoating or doing any other kind of like nasty human behavior that stems from trauma or stems from stress from other situations or anxiety or whatever, you kind of realize like, oh, maybe, that kind of makes me realize like, oh, wow, like this is not only affecting me, but it's affecting others around me now. Like, that's not cool. So I really need to work on this. So when it's affecting my life, my daily life, my dreams, and or other people, loved ones around me, that's when I really, really know, okay, like I need to do this shadow work. Next question. Share a spread you use or created for shadow work. Oh, well, I already said one. That's like the 3-card spread, the current situation, problems you're having in that situation, and advice from spirit. That's just for like everyday shadow work. But there is a spread that I have used before that is for like way deeper shadow work, and I don't know if I can find it. I will try to find it. I think I have it in my book of shadows actually, so I will either take a picture and try to link it down below, or I don't know. I'll somehow try to link it below. If it's not below, I couldn't figure it out. I'm sorry, but I'll try. Oh, and I did not, the one that I would share, I did not create it. It's one that I found online. All right, number 5. Name a shadow archetype character in your favorite movie, show, or game, or book. Give a rundown of the story and how the character is the shadow. Ooh, okay, so I remember reading these questions, and the first character that came to mind, and is still coming to mind, is a character from an anime show that I love. The anime show that I love is called Nana, and the main like shadow character in that show is named Nana. It's an anime, so all the characters are Japanese. So her name is Nana. She is, let's see, give a rundown of the story of how this character is the shadow. Okay, so Nana is like this super punk rock character. She's in this band. She is like really heavy and brooding. She has also had some trauma in her life. She definitely, like, her story is, she was like in love with this dude, and he became more successful than her, and is now like part of this like really famous band, and she's trying to like figure out all that, and she's like this leather jacket wearing, cigarette smoking, makeup wearing punk rock princess who's just like super cool, and I don't know, she like has to deal with her friend and her friend's trauma, and gets her friend through all of that trauma, and gets her friend through it to the other side, because she knows what it's like to go through really hard experiences. So she helps her friend get through it, and I love her so much. I love that show so much. One of my dogs, Hachiko, is named after a character in that show. So again, it's Nana. It's definitely not like an action-packed anime. If you're into anime like that, it's nothing like that. It's definitely one of those like mushy-gushy romantic ones. It's more of like a drama anime. But if you're into that, you should definitely check out Nana. It's a really good show. Okay, well, I guess that was all of the questions. So I don't have too many cards left. It looks like we're into the major arcana now. So I'll just play some music and let you guys see, okay?